Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Today we're going to talk about polynomial division, okay? And I've talked about the types of function in the previous videos when I was talking about functions, so I'm going to just dive in, all right? So if you've missed the video on the types of functions, please just go to the channel and just check through the playlist. You will see one of the videos labeled types of function. Here we're going to talk about polynomial division. So from there, I explained a polynomial is x, or it's an expression involving powers of x. So normally they are being arranged either from an descending order, so usually from the highest to the lowest, or sometimes lowest to the highest. So sometimes you can see questions like this. So you have like x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus something. So this is what we call a polynomial, because you can see it's an expression involving powers of x. Does that make sense? Usually arranged in either descending or ascending order. Okay. But in this video, I'm going to talk about some alternative names of polynomials. So sometimes you will notice that polynomials are called some other names. So some of them that are to the first degree. All right. Some to the first degree, they have been called linear expression. So linear expression. So a linear expression is a form of polynomial. So sometimes you have something of, let's say, it's called ax plus b. So for example, an example could be 3x plus 2. This was the x is raised to power 1 to the first degree, okay? Now, another one, which is one of the most popular one, polynomial, is what we call the polynomial to the second degree, and is otherwise known as quadratic expression. Okay, so otherwise known as quadratic expression, and it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so it's in form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So an example, a classical example could be something like 3x squared plus 4x plus 5. So this is what we call quadratic expression. And here it's quadratic because x is raised to the power of 2, so to the second degree. Other ones you might have come across as well is the polynomial to the third degree. So polynomial to the third degree is called a cubic expression, usually referred to as a cubic expression. And in cubic expression, we have the same thing, but in this case, x is raised to the power of 3. So we have ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus 1 d. Okay? So for example, you have something like, let's say 8x cubed plus 7x squared plus x plus 3 or something. Okay, and all that as well. Maybe I'm not going to talk about it, but I'll just mention it here. We have another polynomial to the fourth degree. It's usually referred to as a quadratic expression. Okay, so a quadratic expression, and it's also another form of polynomials. And all these polynomials can come in different degrees, as you can see. So, the reason why I'm talking about this is because we're going to discuss several things in this series of video on polynomial division, okay? But just to put it in perspective, the first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to show you how to evaluate polynomial by nesting. So I'm going to start with evaluation of polynomials by nesting. So I'm going to talk about that. So when I'm done with talking about polynomial by nesting, the next thing I'll talk about is the remainder theorem. I'm going to start with the remainder theorem first, okay, after the polynomial division by nesting, because it's going to set the stage for when I go to long division. So I'm going to talk about the remainder theorem, okay? Okay, I'm going to talk about the remainder theorem. Then after that, definitely I'm going to move into long division, okay? So I'm going to talk about long division, and under long division, I'm going to discuss the concept of quotient. So we'll talk about quotient. I'm going to talk about the concept of remainder. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this, the concept of quotient. I'm going to talk about the concept of remainder. Now, I'm going to then round this off with the factor theorem. The factor theorem, which basically, what does it imply and how do we determine if a particular quadratic expression is a factor of another polynomial, or a polynomial expression is a factor of another different polynomial. Okay, so these are the four things I'm going to talk about in this series. So I'm going to first start with evaluation of polynomial by nesting. Okay, then I'm going to talk about the remainder theorem. I'm going to talk about long division, how to divide two polynomial. And the thing about the long division is that it gives you both the quotient and the remainder. I'm going to talk about that concept. And what is the difference between the remainder theorem and a factor theorem, okay? So that will be that for this video. So next video, I'm going to start from the first one, evaluation of polynomial by nesting. So just a recap of what I've talked about. So for polynomial division, this is when you have an expression involving powers of x, normally arranged in a descending or ascending order, right? Then I also talked about the types of polynomials. Some of them have alternative names. So you hear something like a linear expression, it's also a polynomial, but the only difference is that it's to the first degree. Quadratic expression to the second, cubic to the third, and quartic is going to be to the fourth, okay? And these are the things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how to evaluate polynomial by nesting. After that, I'll talk about the remainder theorem, do the long division, talk about the quotient and remainder, and also the factor theorem, okay? So, okay, I'm going to see you in the next video, and we're going to talk about how are we going to start evaluating polynomial using the nesting protocol, all right? So if you have any question, as usual, please make sure you put it in the comment section, and I'm going to get back to you. Okay.